This is our public input portion of our meeting. I'd just like to remind everybody there's a 1 3-minute limit per speaker. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board?
I would.
Eddie, give us your name, please.
Zalewski, Van Antwerp Drive. I'm in the right direction on this. Only thing I'm just kind of wondering, I live on the lakefront, how I'm going to make out in the end of this. Is it going to affect my property too much, or do I have to pull up stakes and move?
To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's something that Brad can. Brad, could you address that? You'd be more experienced at it than I do.
I actually don't know the answer to that because I haven't looked at the values in relation to the assessments. In considering what happened last year with the assessments, it looks like many of those lake properties are well underassessed, maybe even grossly underassessed, and there may be a big hit. But there's nothing you can really do about that. I mean, once we do a revaluation, the intent is to get everything fairly assessed. Those that were underassessed will have to come up. Those that are overassessed will come down.
No, I think I'll just leave my property alone.
One good thing is that people will come and discuss the value with us on this.
I'll be there.
Does anyone else who'd like to address the board?
I would just like to say something to Ed. Ed?
Yes.
Make sure that you get all the exemptions that are coming to you based on the new regulations that we voted in several months ago. So make sure you check with Linda about all exemptions that might be coming to you.
All my rights.
Everything, everything.
I'll do that. Thank you.
All right.
Give your name and address, please.
My name is Roy Mallette. I recently, under Freedom of Information, asked for all records that pertain to the Broughton revitalization. One of my primary concerns was how much has been spent on this project. I spent about $40 a copy to obtain this information. I received vouchers from the attorney that were edited drastically. I am enclosing a copy of one of these redacted pages. In checking with the town clerk, she told me that Mr. Freeman, the Committee on Open Government, advised that attorneys could redact their invoices. I emailed Mr. Freeman on 3/25/2009 to get his opinion. I talked with him today and he told me that they did not have carte blanche approval to edit these records. He advised me where to look under advisory decision, which I did. I forwarded to the town clerk a paragraph on one of the advisory positions, which I will read for public record. With specific respect to payments to attorneys, I point out that while the communications between an attorney and a client are privileged, it has been established in case law that records of the monies paid and received by an attorney or a law firm for services rendered to the client are not privileged. My big question is how many other people have been denied their right to public records? I've asked many times, just 1 second, what was the purpose of these trips taken by the supervisor and the town attorney to Washington or other destinations, and the cost of these trips? I've looked at every record and cannot find any type of report to the town board or the taxpayers explaining the reason for these trips, who you talked with, or what was accomplished. At one of the board's recent meetings, the supervisor said that we have questions to direct them to the town board. Based on this statement, I would like to ask these questions. How many trips were taken to Washington or other places on behalf of economic development? How many dollars has the town received from any source to assist in this project? Thank you.
Anyone else would like to address the board?
You want to answer that question?
Why don't you just submit the questions to us, Roy, because we're going to have to research them so we can have accurate answers for you.
Why didn't I just give them to you?
Yeah.
No.
I gave you questions before and never got answers.
Well, give them to us and we'll research them.
Well, here, you can have a copy of this.
We'll have the town clerk research it for you. Does anyone else would like to address the board?
I'd like to have a copy of the answers to the questions when she gets them finished, so that we will, you know, he's been asking these questions over and over again for quite some time, and other people might want to know what the answers are, so I'd like to have a copy too.
Heather?
Nothing else this evening?
Michelle?
Nothing, thank you.
Vern?
Nothing.
Charlie?
Nothing.
Billy?
I've got to ask you, have we ever made it public on the thing?
You know, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. That's a good point.
Why don't I just read this into record then? We have a letter here from the State of New York Department of Transportation. In response to your August 8, 2008 phone conversation with Scott Bates of our office, we are pleased to advise you that our traffic engineers have completed a review of the Route 11 at Mud Mill Road intersection and determined that the installation of a 3-color traffic signal would be appropriate. The installation of a 3-color traffic signal will be incorporated into a state signal requirements project that is currently in progress. It is anticipated that the construction of the 3-color signal will be completed by the fall of 2010. Your interest in this matter was very much appreciated. So the people out in the Brewerton area, it's coming. It might take a while, but it's on the way.
Jim?
Nothing else.
Just one short comment. South Bay Volunteer Fire Department had a nice fundraiser the other night for their building fund. There was a lot of people there. There was a great turnout, a lot of support for them. If they ever have anything else, I would encourage each and every one of you to go. It was a fabulous time.
Yes, I would just like to make mention that if anybody remembered the trolley line that ran on South Bay Road from the Syracuse City line to United Lake, according to the Herald, it began in August of 1908 to give the English Club and South Bay residents along the line service as soon as possible. Cicero, through the years, by Lona Flynn, that's where that came from. I just wanted to announce that the North Syracuse Art Guild is having a reception on Sunday, March 29th at 2 p.m. at the Community Center on Trolley Lane, across from the library. And they just wanted me to mention that. At that time, they're going to have painted a mural of the last trolley of its final run before retirement, and it's going to be presented to Mayor John Heindorf for placement in the community center, the original site of the trolley barn. So I just thought if anyone was interested in that, and I just wanted to make mention also that I had a wonderful opportunity to participate in serving the seniors their St. Patrick's Day lunch. I was amazed by how many seniors participated in this. Judy and her staff did an outstanding job, and I was happy to be a part of it, and Jeannie too. Thank you very much.
Eddie, do you remember that last trolley car?
Yeah, I used to swim around there.
Do you go further business meetings? Is there participation in government students here? We can sign for you, sorry. No further business, meeting adjourned.